Welcome back to the channel. Let's check out this week's latest $5 and under eShop deals. In terms of indie games for the Switch, Moonlighter is one of the very best. It's an action RPG with rogue-like elements that has you taking control of a shopkeeper with a goal of finding goodies to fill your little shop as well as help out your town. To do this, you'll need to travel through gates in order to secure those treasures and take on enemies and big bosses as you explore. It is an addicting game with lots to do, and the Complete Edition also includes the expansion with a bunch of additional content to add to the adventure. Moonlighter, the Complete Edition, is just $4.34, a steal for this gem. If you have any doubts, then try out the demo on the eShop. I'm sure you'll be hooked. Wandersong is a beautiful musical adventure game that has you playing as a bard who goes on a quest to find the Earth Song and along the way sings his heart out. As you adventure, you'll encounter little mini adventures that you'll need to solve with your singing as well as meet new friends. What a joy this game is! It'll make you tear up too, it'll pull at your heartstrings. The game is worth it. There's lots of funny moments too. Just trust me on this one. It is a game that you need to play. It is very unique and it'll stick with you long after it's over. Wandersong is just $4.99 until September 4th. Want a silly multiplayer game? Get Alpaca Allstars. I mean, look at this nonsense. They hit the balls with their neck. It is a physics-based game. You know what? It's fun. It's a perfect game to just joke around with or play with the kids or family. This game has 8-player local multiplayer, so plenty of people can join in. If you don't have anybody, you can add bots to the game to fill in some slots. Check out the demo if you're on the fence, but otherwise, it's just $3.99, down to its lowest price ever on the eShop. It's at a great price to add some good multiplayer fun to your game rotation. Ever imagine what it would be like to be Death? You know, take over things for the Grim Reaper? Well, you can in Flipping Death. Play as Penny, who for whatever reason has become Death herself, filling in as a temp job replacement for the Grim Reaper. You need to interact with the living and the dead to not only do your job, but maybe find out why she croaked in the first place. Yeah, it is a comedy adventure game from Zoink Games, and it's quite good, and I found it to be much better than their previous game, Stick It to the Man. This game is just $1.99 until September 7th. I liked Demon Turf, but I have found Neon Splash, the semi-sequel, to be much better, with lots of excellent platforming. And heck, I'll even say it, it looks better overall, I think. Maybe it's the colors, I don't know, but it looks good. What I like about this game is it takes out a lot of the combat and other stuff and just focuses on the platforming, which was the best part of Demon Turf. There's some good level design here, with plenty of goals and challenges to complete. Yes, the game is short, but I'd rather a well-polished short adventure than a long one that drags out any day of the week. Platforming fans, make sure to check this out. It's just $3.49, and it's worth every penny at that price. Delisting alert! God Wars, the Complete Legend, is set to delist from the eShop on August 30th. That means you only have a few days left to pick it up digitally. Even though it's sad to see this game go away, the great news here is it is on sale at its lowest price ever at $3.99 until August 28th. At least they are marking it down heavily before it goes away. Now this game is a tactical RPG, sort of like Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics and the like, so if you're fans of those types of games, it might be worth picking this up for $4. Also, there is some DLC, including some free DLC for it, so make sure to pick that up too, if you want it. If you have any interest in this game, make sure to capitalize on it before it goes away. Kero Blaster, at first glance, doesn't seem like much, but it is a game that is a lot of fun. Play as a frog, employed at Cat and Frog Incorporated, as you work to free the landscape of enemies. It's a run and gun / shooter in an 8-bit style that is surprisingly addictive. If you're feeling like this looks a little bit or feels a little bit like Cave Story, well, that's because the same dev behind that game also made this one. It's just $2.99 until September 11th. Donut Dodo is heavily inspired by early arcade games like Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Mario Brothers, Popeye, and Burger Time, and the like. The game has you gathering the donuts in each stage while avoiding enemies and obstacles, so you can nab the big donut from the dodo to clear each stage. What I like about this game is that it shakes up things from stage to stage. It seems like each board has its own mechanics and style. One might have you climbing ladders, almost like Donkey Kong, while another has you tackling a big circus wheel that you need to navigate to get the donuts from each side of the stage. It's a fun, frantic, arcade-like platformer that is sure to please classic game fans. It's just $2.49 at its lowest price ever via the latest eShop sale. The legendary indie game classics, the Bit.Trip games, can be nabbed via the Bit.Trip Collection for just $2.69 at its lowest price ever on the eShop. There's 6 different games included: Bit.Trip Beat, Bit.Trip Void, Bit.Trip Core, Bit.Trip Fate, Bit.Trip Flux, and my personal favorite, Bit.Trip Runner. Don't let the simple looks of these games throw ya. These games are addicting to play for sure. Some are shooters, some are rhythm games, and some are platformers, but all together, it's great stuff. NAMCO Museum Archives Volume 2 contains 11 Famicom and NES Namco games. The titles included are Galaga, Battle City, Pac-Land, Dig Dug 2, Super Xevious, Mappyland, Legacy of the Wizard, Rolling Thunder, Dragon Buster 2, and Mendo Palace. In addition, there's a brand new game, a 8-bit version, a Gal Plus, that was made with the original hardware in mind. The collection is just $4.99 until September 4th, and it's another solid collection for classic game fans. Arise, a simple story, Definitive Edition, is a 3D adventure game that has you manipulating time to solve puzzles and shape your environment as you witness a story about life, the good times, and the bad times. Being the Definitive Edition, this also includes extras like a digital art book and soundtrack so you can listen to those beautiful themes, but this also includes some content that is exclusive to the Switch, such as a photo mode and gyro support for extra precision. There is a demo on the eShop, so feel free to check that out. Arise is down to its lowest price ever of $2.99 until September 7th. The Takeover is a side-scrolling beat-em-up that is most certainly inspired by classic games of the 90s, like the Streets of Rage series. It's a fun beat-em-up with a pretty good soundtrack and a visual style that reminds me a bit of a comic book. I like it. There's 3 different characters to play as, and a local multiplayer co-op too. It's only $2.99 at a perfect price for those looking for a beat-em-up fix. If you love run-and-gun games, then Fury Unleashed is a must-get. Filled with non-stop action and plenty of baddies to shoot in the face, as well as some fun boss fights, this is one heck of a fun game. I like the comic book look, and I love the replayability nature of the game. It does have some roguelite elements. There's some excellent co-op play too, including online play. So for $3.99, I think it's a steal, and one of the better indie games on the platform. Figment is a beautiful action-adventure game that has you playing as Dusty and his friend Piper, exploring through different parts of the mind. Yes, they live in the mind, as they encounter and fend off the nightmares and creatures that have started to plague it. It is an extremely polished game with beautiful hand-drawn visuals, a wonderful soundtrack, and some terrific voice acting. It is such an incredibly charming game that for $1.99, you'll feel very happy that you picked this game up. Velocity 2X is a hybrid game that features shoot-'em-up gameplay combined with side-scrolling, run-and-gun with a heavy emphasis on speed and movement. It's a very good game that rewards those who take the time to master the levels to get the best scores and times. This version on Switch also includes a bunch of additional content and updates, including daily missions, as well as 16 additional levels on top of the main game. If you've never played this game before, make sure to pick it up at $2.99. You'll be happy you did. There you go, a bunch of $5 and under deals. Lots of good gaming and experiences for your Switch for dirt cheap. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider becoming a subscriber so you can stay up to date with all the latest videos. Feel free to check out the video from earlier this week. There's lots of other awesome games in that video. That's all from me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.